Alright, if you were watching a few episodes back, there was a welding torch in here, and the pressure and temperature changed in enough of a way that the welding torch exploded, and it took me a few tries. I thought we could play that game again. This time I have depressurized this room. In the last episode, I was debating making the programming more complex so that we could share a fertilizer bin. No, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to run a new fertilizer bin right in here. So, to do that, I need some chutes. And I need to pull this wall out and watch what happens. I need to save those, that one, and this one. And then I'll put the chutes in. Listen now. Come on, fucker. Hear it? Pop, pop. What is pop, pop? It's kind of over here somewhere. Oh, something gave out. What was it? It was nothing in here at all. There wasn't anything in there to blow up or fail. And it would make sense that it would be something here. In fact, it sounded that way, but I can't find it. And I've been looking for this for a little bit now. For what explodes? This stuff's all new, but it's fine. Oh, there it is. Why is this? We're using this pipe as a way to heat up the room, which is now rapidly cooled, and it's an exchanger, so this cools off and blows up. Sure. And it's just one little pipe. Just fix it when we're ready. Heater valve on. No, off. So, oh, but this side got cold. Yeah. There's no real mystery here, is there? All right, so I'll come back later and fix that up. And meanwhile, yeah, it was crazy talk. I'm going to make the program deal with a bad build. No, this wasn't, no part of depressurizing the room was any fun, but compared to the fun of some kind of hack job on coordinating one thing with the other for no good reason, I mean, that was not a good idea at all, so I'm not doing that. So now I'm coming in here because why? I don't know. We know what we're going to have. We're going to have a 42 kPa of freezing cold air is the next step. Get rid of that. That was funny. Blew up that pipe. Get this out of my face. So now we need this pump to be attached to a passive vent and pump that room out. Again, we pump the room out into this tank, and we're going to put it all back in a minute. But first we have to pump the room out again. So I got this all lashed up. This notion of using the exhaust, the hot GPG exhaust through these Stirlings to make even more power. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, you know, yeah, But let's be clear, we're just doing this because it's kind of fun to work on, not because this is going to be a significant way that I'm going to sustain myself. It's going to make the fuel burning a little bit more efficient, but the answer I don't think is efficiency. I think the answer is just have plenty of fuel. It's probably an even better plan. But meanwhile, we can do this. We can have fun. We've got the GPG, GFG it is, and Stirling 1, 2, and 3. And we just need a laptop. Oh, and I want to put a pressure, a pipe analyzer on there so I don't bother with anything if there isn't a bunch of gas. Not that, this. Things you do while the plants grow and the rooms are analyzer. Oh, how's your game going? What are you building? What are you aiming for? I took a little time away and I realized I've been spending a lot of time on things that are not exactly on point. Fun things. I don't regret my time, but it's just important to know when a goof is a goof. Okay, so we need to measure, yeah, in here, and it needs to go onto that wire right there. That's what needs to happen. Come on, I hate when it points the wrong way. I want it like that, except pointing the other way. Ooh, is that it? Flat on top and pointing that way? That's how I want it. Uh-huh. Better just do it that way. Hands pretty full. Yes, this is going to be a lot better solution than trying to deal with tray 0 or trying to deal with shared fertilizers. And instead, I was looking at it. There. Instead, I was looking at it, and it looks to me like I need a welder torch over here with that. Good. And then we'll call that. We'll call that G, F, G. I think I already have a GFG exhaust, but I don't have a GFG exhaust out. I was looking at this. This room has been just a real chore, you know, evolving from one thing to another. But look where we're at now. The 4 trays, and then I guess I could build it while we're sitting around doing nothing important. And then this is a export bin, right? Yes. Into a, do we need a stacker anymore? What do we need the stacker for? The stacker was so we could tell. Yeah. We can measure easily if there's one in the hole, but what we can't measure without a stacker there is there a queue? We want to make fertilizer till we've got a queue built up. Yeah, and we don't want to cross from one to the other, so we do need a stacker. It's not that big a deal. So anyway, it's all just one clean straight line. There's no corners. It's trays, seeds, and out. And I don't think that there's room in that plan for the death seeds, but we don't need a separate set for the death seeds. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Don't need more heavy right now, that's for sure. And we're not doing pipe work. Be enough. You know what I mean? I do think that the master plan, has to include what if all four die all at the same time. But we don't need two sets of what am I going to do with it, since the hydroponics Larry can hold the seeds in hand. We don't need this set of hold this for a minute while I go do that. No, I can hold it himself. So with only one set needed for what if the worst happens, everything just sits in a nice line, right? Pretty sure it's going to work great. So this one is that stacker with the knobs on that side. Comes in here and hits a corner and another corner. It provides its payload to that. And then we'll go ahead and build out while we're waiting for the room to depressurize. 22, why is it 22? I guess because it was 45 a minute ago and it just takes a while. Powered chutes, yes. We need a powered chute, export. Go up as far as there. And a regular chute, straight. And a powered chute, import. Needs to go as far as there. And that's it. Emergency seeds, get the fertilizer, pop over, it's a little bit of an L at the end to send its fruit out, its payload out. Fertilizer, yes, 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 and yes. And then when it's time to do the wheat, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. This thing only needs to be 5 deep. Talk myself into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus a door is 6. Plus a cap on the end is 7. 7 by 1, and I can jam it all in. I can get it all in a tube like that. Everything I need. So yeah, that's what the wheat room is going to look like someday. 7 by 1. And then I had some other thoughts about the wheat room, the wheat greenhouse. I'm not sure I said it out loud, but I've been thinking it for a little while. I do want to put in that force field, but it occurred to me, rather than risking banking the whole operation, my whole house on getting it right, the thing to do is use the vacant wheat room, right? Get it working in the wheat greenhouse where there's nothing to lose until I say that there is. How's that wire not connected? This wire is connected, of course. This wire is connected. Doesn't that wire go around there? The fucks I don't give at this point. I've been... Oh, it's because it's not... It wasn't that. It's this. Oh, you're killing me, Quasar. Welp, I'll be back with some more red wire. I'm going to keep going in the direction that I'm going. I'm going to get a laptop and program that chip. How hard could that be? Let's do that. How hard could it be? The laptop. What are we done with? We're done with stacker. Force field door, your time will come. Done with power measurer. Done with pipes. Okay. I needed the laptop and the red wire. The cables, we call those. Oh, and I need something to drink. Oh, I got water. We just need to put a actual connection. Why does that look lit up now? How did it get power from that incomplete? Well, mysteries never cease. That's good and green. Terrific, and we're down to 13 kPa of very cold air. And when I did this before, more than once, I think 10's a really good number. Okay, so our Stirling controller like that, I want it. Our Stirling controller has GFG and 3 Stirlings and an analyzer. What do we call it? GPG exhaust out. Come on, game. There we go. Clear. Is that what we said? 4, 3, 4, yes. All right, so we want to loop and test. Load. Don't do anything until the generator's on. BNE X1 loop. Load the gas pressure branch less than 1 MPa. Don't do anything until those two things are true. The generator's on and there's an MPa worth of gas to work with. Then stir 3 on 1, sleep 2, turn them all on in the appropriate order. Then what? Well, I mean, it's wait until either of those things are false and then stop. But if it's then we want to turn off then we want to turn them all off in the reverse order. And for sure at that point, we're ready to try again. So the only question is, we go back to loop. If we go back to loop here, true, or rather false, false. If the things are already on, we don't want to mess with them. Right? When you start, if either of those are not true, then come down here and make sure everything's off and keep watching until it is true. Then, when it's on and there's enough pressure, are we already on? If we are, then we're good. Otherwise, get them turned on, come back. Still good, still on, still good pressure, and we're already on, so let's just loop until one of those things is not true, then stop them and wait again. That's got to be perfect. That's got to be perfect. So for the moment, let's not wait for the generator to turn on. And for test purposes, let's stop when it hits 28 even. That's got to work. That's got to be perfect the first time. Export that awesome code. Put it on the chip. Put it in here. Let's go. Let's go. It's not erroring. That's nice. but it ain't doing shit. Why? Why? State -1. Did I already use this chip for something? Something tells me I did. Life is too short for that bug. Sometimes if you try to use a chip, reuse a chip, it just won't. And I don't know where that chip came from, so let's just be sure it's not that stupid bug. -1. There was no opportunity for it to ever get set to -1. Okay, it's a fresh new day and a fresh new chip. And a rock solid program. Damn it, it wasn't the chip. Where's my good chip? But like I said, now that it's had a program on it, who the fuck knows? Where is it getting -1 from? Is this turned on? No. Will that help? Yes. Oh, look. There it goes. Oh, that's so tedious. You see, it got beat up from the last time it got away from me. Sorry, boys. Okay, so now we're going to run until that thing hits 0, 28 even, and then it stopped. And what do you know? My simple little program was just that simple, perhaps. Okay, so now we want to good to know. Pressure is -1 if your thing's off. Now we want to stop when it gets down to nothing much, and we do want to only run when the generator runs. We know the program is rock solid. Can't possibly ever go wrong in any way. And we'll come check it when this generator starts to run, which it will, because this battery's going to drain any minute now. Meanwhile, Five is a great number to hit. 5 kPa, and I put back the fucking pipe I need. I'll steal this one too, I guess. Don't need you here because you're gonna go back there. But I do need a piece of pipe right here. And I'm gonna push all of this nice atmosphere back into the room. Yes. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go get some. I'm going to replace the pipe I stole, and I'm also going to fix that pipe that broke. Two hole. Okay, so that room is filling up with, at least it's got lots of carbon dioxide and nitrogen in the air. It may not be at a good temperature, but that's what these things are about, the air conditioner and the superheater. So we'll let this run until it gets down into the part where it's mostly empty. I have no hard and fast rule, and instead I have so much carbon dioxide in there. 30%, it needs to be 1%. Oh, and while we're sitting around doing nothing, let's go check this equalizer tank. I haven't checked it since... Oops, damn it. I haven't checked it since I put it all together. 1, perfect. This is the tank, if you weren't watching, that holds the... This thing balances the room against the environment. It keeps us even so that when the force field is working someday, it will have very little to do. There won't be any balancing. It'll be already balanced, and so it won't spend extra energy keeping one pressure different than the other. That's the idea. Oh, there we go. So there's a bonus 3. 3.8. 6.8. 7.3. 12. Almost 13 kilowatts. But it won't be sustainable. We know it won't be sustainable. Now I was looking at this. What does working gas efficiency mean? Does that mean that that thing could be a lot better than it is? It seems like I need to man up and put more moles of working gas in this, doesn't it? Because the temperature is going to be what it is. The environment is going to be what it is. And the pressure differential is 100. So the only way I can make this work better, I think, is to have a little more pressure in these tanks. But meanwhile, we've got 16... Dang it. We've got 16 kilowatts happening out of the generator itself. And I had another idea. What was it? I had another idea. A grand plan when these projects are worked out. I'll be here when this ends and see where we're at with pressure. And where are we at over here with pressure? Over the big holdup to progress. 0. We're there, baby. Turn you off. And don't forget to replace this pipe, which I wasn't going to forget. And this is ready to go. And we're back in business. Ooh, and these are off. Okay, so let's make a note. 24.9. I'm actually going to get a pencil out and write. 24.9 MPa. I'll forget to look at it later, and then months from now I'll be like, what's 24 MPa? Oh yeah. Okay, and our quality is the following. 16's pretty cold. Pretty good pressure. We might want a little bit more, but I think we're back in business once we heat this room up a little bit. And just a little bit. I've got a way to heat it up really fast, which is great when it's a brand new room, but we don't want to do that. That heat exchanger, I mean, if I open this for like a nanosecond, it'll be too hot. So instead, my practiced hand, says use the air conditioner. Okay, so that room's going to get... Oh, I was going to look at the chutes back here. That room's going to be useful here in just a little bit. And when the fertilizer, the shit, comes out of the machine and goes in here, all we got to do is flip-flop it or something and put some of it in there. That's all we got to do. Do you know what a flip-flop does? Sounds like the right thing, doesn't it? I don't need any sophistication. I just need some of it to go here, some of it to go there. I'm working on the right chute. There's no question. So what does a flip-flop even look like? Flip-flop splitter. Comes in this way. Wants to go straight. But maybe it goes like that. And if it goes straight, it simply hits this corner and goes in. And if it goes the other way, then it hits this corner and goes over to here. Just like that. Has to be perfect. Is it comfortable enough to get some water from this room? Yes. Is it too hot yet? No, not even close. Okay. I'm sure there's some way we can do this. Two balls in each is the goal, is the expectation. I got a bunch of stuff to feed into it to get even more dynamic here in a minute. Done with these. We're done with that test. Flash up. And instead, what we want is a lash up right there. Okay, and then we've got fertilizer balls. One for you, and one for you. One for you, and one for you. Did you see me make a mistake? I think it was right. Come on now. Nothing. Son of a bitch. Where did it go? find out. Now we're up to 18. We can start farming when it hits about 21. Where did it go? Come on. Whatever. You guys, you didn't tell me. Why didn't you tell me? These aren't corners. These are. One for me, one for you. One for me, one for you. That was another thing that I did right in Mars, is I just made a giant room, so there was none of this going in and out all the time to try stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. That was a lot of work for some reason. Alright, so let's do it organically. The fertilizer, organically, you get it? Let's put this back the way it needs to be. Accurately the first time with no flubs would be so great. One, two. Oh my. Oh, that's a window. I was all confused. No, this is just a corner. It's a simple corner that goes into that chute, goes around, hits the flip-flop. No mystery, no big whoop. Judas Priest. So then fruit goes in here. What was I just saying? So fruit goes in here, either beans or potatoes. And now let's go outside one more boopity-doop time, because I haven't coated this yet. I haven't developed it. And then a decision is made somehow. Do we need more fertilizer or don't we? If we do, then this is open. And food goes into the fertilizer machine. The food that you feed in, like I'm about to. At least when I do the wheat, I won't have to do this over. Losing it. Okay, so then we get a bunch of fruit. We got 4 in the machine right now, and we get a bunch of fruit. And then we wait. And as the machine processes the fruit into fertilizer, it's going to show up here and then here. And when we see it one time, we're going to check this off as done. All right, so we rejiggered things. That's not gonna. Oh, we got one there. All we need to see is one there. This is not gonna do anymore, because that's a spot, and if he's over his spot, then he won't activate. So let's have him live right there. Oops. And he's a complex beast to take apart. You got to use the other one, and you just breathe on it and it falls apart. Okay. So there's nothing there. So clearly that's where we want him to live. Except for the part where you can't see the buttons. I dealt with this before, that's why I put it over there. He could live here and he wouldn't conflict. Was he okay where he was? Right in the middle? I think he was, actually. Did you see that poop ball go where it was supposed to? That's happy. No, don't go anywhere. Oh yeah, you activated him on his home spot, so he didn't do anything. He got out of the way. That's what he does. It's fine. It's fine right there. We got a station for that. And we've got a station. The wrench. For that one. And a piece of rail between it. And the station. It's funny, they don't have to line up the way you might think. I'm not even going to bother with it. That's going to get that. There's no question in my mind. Plus the 4. So simple. And in fact, you know what that is? It's nothing. Is there any reason not to just blast that out of there? There isn't. Not a single reason. So this is more than it needs to be, but I'm completely fine with how the potatoes were working. And finally, this has got to be it, doesn't it? A setup for the soybeans that'll win? It's got to be. All right, so we're at 45 minutes. That's good. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.